Dear students, warm greetings on behalf of Dr. Ambedkar Open University. Today's tele-lesson is on motivational theories. This is for the MBA first year students studying semester 2. The subject is organizational behavior, paper 201. So, dear students, today's tele-lesson will be on motivational theories. So, in today's tele-lesson, dear students, we will cover the following topics. One is, we will introduce you to what is motivation. Then we will learn the nature of motivation. Then we will study the importance of motivation. Then the techniques, the different techniques what we have in motivation. Then finally, we will conclude today's tele-lesson on the different theories of motivation. We will learn what are the different theories we have in motivation. So, this is how today's tele-lesson we will go. Before we understand motivation, let us try to understand what motivation is with a simple example. Let us suppose it is hot today, very hot today, and I am very thirsty. If I want to quench my thirst, what I have to do? I have to get up from this chair first, go to the kitchen or go to the nearby place where the water is placed, take the water and drink. So, through drinking water, I can quench my thirst. So, water is my motivation right now in order to quench my thirst. So, motivation is something which sees that a desire is fulfilled, a need is fulfilled. I need water. In order to fulfill my need, I need a motivation to get up, go, get water and drink. So, this is what is motivation all about. Let us discuss another example as to what motivation is in clear. For example, while machines, processes, technology of high order can be available with individuals. Like for example, I have an organization, I have a company, I have extraordinary high technology machines, I have good processes, I have everything good, I have a lot of money with me, everything is doing good. But the productivity is low because people are not motivated. So, motivation, while machines, processes, technology of high order can be made available to the individuals, dear students, it can be made available, it can be bought through the money what I have. But high productivity, if I want product, even though I have good machines, good men, lot of money, good procedures, good methods, everything is good in the organization. High level technology I have updated, everything is fine. But dear students, in order to achieve high productivity, workers of high skill should be adequately motivated. Even though the employees are skilled, if they are not motivated, your productivity is not achieved. In simple terms, dear students, efficiency of a person depends upon the performance. That is, performance can be expressed as ability into motivation. So, performance is equal to ability into motivation. So, you can perform more, your productivity can increase only when you have an ability to do the work along with proper motivation. If there is no motivation, you cannot perform the job. So, dear students, the process of stimulating and inspiring people at work to contribute to the best of their capability for the achievement of organizational objectives is known as motivation. So, in simple terms, motivation is the inner psychological force that activates and compels a person to behave in a particular manner. Or dear students, it is a process of inductive individual desire towards a goal. Or dear students, human beings derive satisfaction when the goal is achieved. And also, individuals can be motivated, one through financial motivation, through rewards, through bonuses, or non-financial motivation, like sometimes a pat on a back, a small word of appreciation also acts as motivators. Dear students, I hope we have understood to some extent what motivation is. Now let us learn the definition of motivation. According to William G. Scout, motivation means a process of stimulating people to action to accomplish desired goals. So, dear students, motivation means a process of stimulating people to action to accomplish desired goals. And according to Edwin B. Flippo, dear students, motivation is the process of attempting to influence others to do your will through the possibility of gain or reward. So, after learning the definition of motivation, dear students, let us try to understand the nature of motivation. 1. Motivation is an inner feeling. It has to come from within. It is a psychological concept and it cannot be forced on the employee. I cannot tell, chalo, you get motivated. It cannot be forced. It has to come from within. It is an internal feeling generated within an individual which compels him to behave. Let us suppose I want to study organizational theory and behavior. I want to write the exam well. I have to, that motivation to write the exam well, to pass the MBA degree should come from within. Nobody can force me. With force, I cannot do things. So, motivation is an inner feeling which has to come from within. Second one, dear students, the second nature of motivation is motivation produces goal directed behavior. That is, employee behavior is influenced by motivation in such a way that they can achieve their goals. For example, motivation helps to achieve both organizational as well as individual goals. For example, dear students, if a person wants to get promotion, then he has to work hard, he has to show his productivity, he has to show his or he has to improve his performance. Only then he will get promoted. So, that is what is called as motivation produces goal oriented behavior. If you want promotion, you have to perform well. Your goal is promotion, for which you have to perform well. Another nature of motivation, my dear students, is motivation can either be negative or positive. For example, motivation can either be negative or positive. So, for example, motivation can be positive in the form of rewards like additional pay, bonus, incentives, promotions, recognitions, etc. Or motivation can be negative in the form of punishments, threats, demotions, terminations, etc. So, positive motivation, negative motivation, two types of motivation. And also, dear students, motivation is a continuous process. It's not that I got motivated now to study well. It's not that I got motivated well to perform my job well. It's not that I motivated well that I should become a professor, or it's not that I get motivated now to become a good teacher. It is a continuous process. As human needs are unlimited, completion of one need gives rise to another. So, it goes on. Therefore, motivation is a continuous process. I am thirsty now. So, I go and get water and drink. I fulfilled my need. So, I get motivated. It's not that I get thirsty only once. It is a continuous process. I read organization theory and behavior now. So, once I read, it's a continuous process until I pass my management degree. So, motivation is a continuous process. I am working in an organization. I want promotion. So, I have to work hard continuously. I should be motivated continuously. It's a continuous process. So, after learning the nature of motivation, dear students, let us learn the importance of motivation. 1. It helps the managers to ignite the will to work among the workmen. Second, good motivation method helps in improving the abilities and capabilities of the employees. 3. It helps in finding out the hidden talent and caliber of the employees through motivation. 4th, motivated employees mean satisfied employees, that is satisfied in terms of job as well as the personal relationship among the people in the organization. Next, motivation reduces the chances of industrial unrest, any disturbances, strikes or similar labor problems in organizations, because well motivated employees create less problems. Also, dear students, motivation helps to change negative or indifferent attitude of employees to positive attitude so as to achieve the organizational goals in general. Also, dear students, motivation helps to reduce the employee turnover and thereover saves the cost of new recruitment and training, because the more the motivated, less the chances the employee leaving the organization. Also, dear students, motivation helps in reducing absenteeism in the organization. So, these are the different importance of motivation, dear students. After learning the importance of motivation, let us learn the techniques of motivation. One is positive motivation, as we have learned earlier, through rewards, monetary benefits, praises, appreciation. Next is negative motivation, as we have learned, demotions, losing jobs, fine, penalty or pay cuts. Another method of motivation is, my dear students, intrinsic motivation, that is motivation which comes from within, internal. It occurs when people are compelled to do something out of pleasure. I love my job, I love teaching. Extrinsic motivation, which is external. It occurs through external factors which compels the person. It is not voluntary, it is mandatory. It comes out of compulsion in an organization, like through rewards, punishments, it may be positive or negative, through rewards or punishment or prizes, etc. This is what is extrinsic motivation, which comes from outside. Intrinsic, within, internal. Also, another technique of motivation is financial incentives and non-financial incentives. Financial incentives are nothing but direct monetary benefits what you get in an organization for performing a particular job, like salaries, wages, bonus, retirement benefits, pension, commission on profit sharing, promotions, medical reimbursements, employee stock ownership or stock option schemes or ESOPs, what we call. These are all financial incentives. Non-financial incentives, which are not monetary, which cannot be monetarily measured, for example, like personal attention, business vehicle preparations, or any promotion you give in career advancement, or appreciation or recognition what you get. Sometimes a pat on the back for the work whatever you have done also can be a non-financial incentive which cannot be measured in monetary terms. So, techniques of motivation, financial incentives and non-financial incentives, intrinsic and extrinsic motivation, all these are the different techniques of motivation. Dear students, once we have learned the different techniques of motivation, let us learn the different theories of motivation. Let us start with the first theory of motivation, theory X and theory Y. As per theory X and theory Y, Douglas McGregor, he says the workers in organization can be divided into two categories. One worker who loved their job, who like to go to the work. Second type of workers who do not like the job, who do not like to go to the workplace. So, in 1960, McGregor formulated this theory X and theory Y, one of which is negative, that is theory X is negative and theory Y is positive. So, according to McGregor, the perception of the manager to the nature of individual is based on various assumptions. So, let us discuss the assumptions of theory X. One, an average employee intrinsically does not like work. So, on an average, as per theory X, average employee does not like the work and tries to escape whenever possible. Since the employee do not work, he must be persuaded because he does not like to work, isn't it? In order for him to make to work, he has to be persuaded, compelled and warned with punishment. If you do not do this work, you will be punished, you will be demotivated, you will be fined. So, thus the manager adopts a dictatorial type of functioning or a dictatorship style of working in the organization. Many employees rank job security on top and they have little or no aspiration or ambition while working. Employees, as per theory X, they dislike responsibilities because they dislike work, and employees in theory X, they resist change, they do not want to change, and also an average employee needs formal direction. Only when he is directed, he works. These are the assumptions of theory X. And dear students, after learning the assumptions of theory X, let us learn the assumptions of theory Y. Employees can perceive their job as relaxing and normal. They like to go to work, they enjoy their work, they exercise their physical and mental efforts in an inherent manner in their job. That is, they love their job. I love my work, I love my job, I love teaching. Employees may not require any threat, external control in order for him to make them work. But if the job is rewarding and satisfying, then it will result in employees' loyalty and commitment to organization. And also in theory Y, my dear students, an average employee can learn to admit and recognize the responsibility. In fact, he can even learn to obtain responsibility. And as per theory Y, my dear students, the employees have skills and capabilities. Their logical capabilities should be fully utilized. So, let us also discuss the implications of theory X and theory Y in today's organization, dear students, after we have learned the assumptions of theory X and theory Y. Quite a few organizations these days use theory X today. Theory X encourages us for tight control and supervision. It implies that employees are reluctant to organizational change. So, thus it does not encourage innovation. And also, dear students, many organizations are using theory Y techniques. That is, theory Y implies that the manager should create and encourage work environment which provides opportunities to employees to take initiative and self-directions. Employees should be given opportunities to contribute to organizational well-being. Also, my dear students, theory Y encourages decentralization of authority, teamwork and participation and participative decision making in an organization. So, it encourages as when we follow theory Y, it encourages decentralization of authority, it enhances teamwork and also participative decision making in organization. And also, dear students, theory Y searches and discovers the ways in which an employee can make significant contribution to an organization. So, this was theory X and theory Y. Once we have learned theory X and theory Y, my dear students, let us learn the Maslow's need hierarchy. Here, a well-known theory called as Maslow's need hierarchy was developed by Abraham Maslow. He was a clinical psychologist. The basic assumption of this model is that we satisfy one type of a need and other need then occupy our attention. For example, right now I am hungry. If I get food, it is enough. After my hunger is over, then I will see I have to go home. So, what is the mode of transportation through which I go home? So, when I fulfill one need, another need comes to my priority list. So, once we satisfy our need for food, air and shelter, then we can move on to safety needs and other social needs, etc. So, now dear students, let us discuss the Maslow's need hierarchy theory. So, if you see, the Maslow's need hierarchy theory is divided into 5 hierarchies or 5 levels. You call it as 5 levels of hierarchy. The first one is the physiological needs, the basic needs like food, water, clothing, etc. Once your basic physiological needs are fulfilled, then you go for the second level of need, the safety need, that is security. Do I have a house to stay? Do I have an insurance policy? Do I have a pension? So, I look at my safety. At old age, am I safe? Do I have an insurance, health insurance, life insurance? Do I have a pension fund? So, once my basic needs like food, water, clothing is fulfilled, then I look to the next level, the safety needs. Am I having a pension plan? Am I having an insurance plan? Am I safe? Am I safe and secure? Once my safety needs are fulfilled, then I go for the social needs, because as we all know, human beings are social animals, isn't it? So, we love being with people. So, once my safety needs are fulfilled, I will see whether my social needs are fulfilled. That is there any belongingness? Do I have a family? Do I have a friend? Do I have a wife, husband, brother, sister, relationship, colleagues, co-workers, office? So, is the next level after my safety needs are fulfilled is my belongingness and love needs, or you call it as the social needs, that is intimate relationship among friends. So, once my basic physiological needs and safety needs are fulfilled and my social needs, that is in the society, that is a relationship among my friends and colleagues, are fulfilled. Okay, I have a set of I have a set of friends and relatives, I have few colleagues with. Then I go for the esteem needs, that is prestige and feeling of accomplishment. Am I recognized? Is there any recognition for my work in my job, is what esteem needs are. Once my esteem needs are fulfilled, my dear students, once my job is recognized, I have some prestige, I have some value, I have some place in the society. The last level in the Maslow's need hierarchy is self-actualization, that is achieving one's potential. If you see, I am a teacher, I work in a university. So completing PhD and becoming a professor may be a self-actualization for me, the ultimate goal in my life. Or if you take Viksit Bharat, the Narendra Modi's Viksit Bharat 2047. So as per Viksit Bharat, it's a long-term vision which Narendra Modi comes up with, that is at 100 years of independence, celebrating 100 years of independence, India should be a developed, not a developing country, but a developed country, for which our country has lots of plans and strategies to achieve in 2047. So that is the ultimate goal of Narendra Modi. So that is what is self-actualization, achieving one's full potential, including your creative activities. So these are the 5 levels of Maslow's need hierarchy, dear students, where Maslow tells once one need is fulfilled, the individual goes to the next level of fulfilling his need. Like once my physiological needs like food, water and clothing is complete or fulfilled, I go for my safety needs, pension, insurance, a house to live, etc. Once my safety needs are fulfilled, I go to the social needs. Is there any relationship? Do I have family, friends, colleagues, etc.? Once I have a family, friend, colleagues, co-workers, employees with whom I work, then I go for esteem needs, that is prestige and feeling of accomplishment, that is to have a status, to have prestige, to have some value, to have a name, a fame, to have an individual recognition in the society is what I look for. After I achieve my esteem needs, I go for the self-actualization, that is achieving one's full potential, including your creative activities. So these are the 5 levels of Maslow's need hierarchy, dear students. After learning the Maslow's need hierarchy, let us learn the Herzberg's 2-factor theory. The Herzberg's 2-factor theory is divided into 2 factors. One is the motivator and another one is the hygiene factor. Let us learn what this hygiene factor is. Dear students, hygiene factors are conditions under which a job is performed. That is, they are all called as maintenance factors. That is minimum thing what an individual expects in an organization. These hygiene factors can also be called as dissatisfiers. That is, if a hygiene factor reduces, you as an employee gets dissatisfied in an organization. That is the minimum thing what you expect in an organization, that is called as a maintenance factor, like compensation, salary, wage, job security, your organizational policies, working conditions, quality of leadership, relationship between supervisor, subordinate, etc. These are the hygiene factor. When it comes to the motivational factors, as I told you, Herzberg's divided into 2 factors, the theory. One is hygiene, second one is motivational factors. So as per the motivational factors, it yields positive satisfaction. That is, these factors are inherent, these are there within that particular work. These factors motivate. The maintenance factor, maintain. If there is reduce in the maintenance factor, you as an employee get dissatisfied. If there is an increase in the motivational factor, your productivity in the organization increases, or the motivational factor, my dear students, acts as satisfiers. For example, achievement, recognition, advancement in your work, like promotion, possibility of growth, isn't it? Whenever you join an organization, you see, is there a chance for growth in the organization? If there is a chance, only you get motivated, because when I work hard, I will get promoted. If there is no chance of promotion, there is no motivation. So those are the 2 factors which Herzberg has given, my dear students, as per the theory. Then comes Alderfer's ERG model, where Clayton Paul Alderfer, he is an American psychologist. He has extended the Maslow's need hierarchy, where Maslow has given 5 steps, isn't it, my dear students? Or you call it as 5 levels also, what we have just now discussed. So, this 5 levels of hierarchy which Maslow has given, Alderfer has divided those 5 levels into 3 levels. He calls it as the ERG theory. E means existence, R means relatedness, and G means growth. So, as per the existence needs, it consists of both the physiological and safety need, what we discussed in Maslow. Those put together is the existence need. Then the relatedness need, ERG. R stands for relatedness need, which is nothing but the third and the fourth level. The social and the esteem level, what we learned in the Maslow, put together is what is called as the relatedness need. The last one is the growth need, that is the fifth level, the self-actualization level in the Maslow's theory is the growth need. So, Alderfer's ERG theory is called as divided into 3 stages: existence need, relatedness need, and the growth need. Once we have learned the Alderfer's need hierarchy, let us learn the McClelland's theory of needs. As per the McClelland's theory of needs, the McClelland divides the needs into 3 motivational drivers. One of the 3 drivers may be dominant. Any driver out of these 3 drivers which McClelland gives, any one is predominant or dominant in every human being. For example, achievement, affiliation, or power. Like when we talk about achievement, my dear students, people who thrive on achievement may have a powerful urge to achieve goals and take calculated risks. That is, they may expect feedback, acknowledgement, and appreciation. That is your achievers. You may be having that particular drive within you as achievers, or sometimes it may be affiliation. That is, people who thrive for affiliation factor favor collaboration. That is, they always like to work in groups. They do not prefer to work as individuals. Another one is power. That is, people who thrive on power may show tendencies to control and influence others, like they will show extraordinary leadership skills. So, McClelland tells in every individual, any one drive will predominantly or dominantly be prevailing in an individual, based on which he will work in organization. Maybe you may be inclined towards achievement, or you may be an achiever where you work so that you achieve your goals, or you may like to work in groups, that is affiliation, or you may like to control people, like you may be having extraordinary leadership skills, that is power. So, this is what was McClelland's theory of motivation. Once we have learned this McClelland's theory of motivation, let us learn the Vroom's expectancy theory. As per the Vroom's expectancy theory, my dear students, this theory assumes that the individual's behavior results from the conscious choices they make from multiple available alternatives. That is, individual make specific choices believing that they may guarantee more satisfaction and control. So, Vroom's expectation theory is divided into 3. Expectancy, it is individuals believe that the harder they work, their chances of success increases. Instrumentality is an individual's belief that they may receive a reward if they meet performances. Valence is the importance an individual places on an expected outcome. So, finally, the Porter and Lawyer model of motivation, it talks about multivariate model which explains the relationship that exists between job attitudes and job performances, where Porter and Lawyer model of motivation talks on efforts, value of rewards, perceived efforts, performances, rewards, and satisfaction. So, motivation, dear students, is an important element in the management, without which the working of the organization cannot be performed smoothly. Thank you for your patient listening.